Hi, this is Ms. Shaver, and I am going to explain counting puzzles. This is Unit 9, page 40. The first thing I want to point out with your math homework is there's usually a hint over here, and it says, students solve multiplication and division problems in a story problem context. That tells you you're probably going to multiply or divide to find your answer. Let's look at number 1. Mr. Jackson's class has 28 students and counts by 35. If the person says 35, if the first person says 35, what does the last person say? In this problem, we're counting by 35. So we are increasing as we count by each of the 28 students. That tells me I'm going to multiply because I'm not getting smaller, I'm not putting things into groups. I'm making it get larger. So I'm actually going to do 28 times 35. So to show my work, I'm going to go ahead and set up a multiplication array. 28, 35, 30 times 20. Well, I know 3 times 2 is 6, and I have 2 zeros. 8 times 30. Well, what's 3 times 8? Hopefully you said 24 plus 1 0. 20 times 5. 5 times 2. Should have written down 10. And 1 0. 5 times 8. Hopefully you wrote down 40. Now I'm going to add them up, lining up each of my numbers as I go. Take a moment and add those up. Your final answer is 980. So I'm not just going to write 980. I want to label my answer. In this problem, it's saying, what does the last person say? So I would write the last person would say 980. Let's look at number 2. Mrs. Bacher's class counts by 42. The first person says 42, and the last person says 1008. How many students are in Mrs. Bacher's class? Well, if I look at the facts of my problem, I know they're counting by 42, and after they've gone around the room, the last person is going to say 1008. That tells me I'm going to need to divide. I've got a larger number, and I want to come up with a smaller number to see how many students. Because we are dividing, we need to think about some of our strategies. One strategy is to think 42 times length equals 1008. You can use any division strategy that you know. I'm going to use this one. So I always start out with, okay, 42 times, I'm going to use the landmark number 10. That gives me 420. Pretty far away from 1008. So next, I think I'm going to double it. 42 times 20. That gives me 840. I'm a little bit closer. I know that if I add those together, I'm going to be too high. So at this point, I might do 42 times maybe 22 and add 84. So, 84. So that would be 924. I'm getting closer. So then I might add another 42. Kind of fix that in there. And I could keep going. Oh, look at that. So there are 24 42s in 1008. So I'm going to kind of divide my work so these don't get mixed up. How many students are in Mrs. Bacher's class? I know that there are 24 students in Mrs. Bacher's class. Okay. On to number 3. Mrs. Hendricks' class has 26 students. They count by a certain number, and the last person says 1,560. What number are they counting by? Well, it's telling me how many students and their numbers that they're ending with. So this is going to be another division problem. Let's use repeated subtraction this time. So with repeated subtraction, let's see, I'm going to try to put my work over here. I'm going to set up my division problem. 1,560 divided by 26. And I'm going to use a landmark number. I know 26 times 10 is 260. So I'm going to subtract 260 and in parentheses put 10. Subtract that out. And I can continue to subtract groups of 260.